Hello everyone. So till now we have seen conventional machining processes, and in that also we were talking about very specific type of simplistic model of machining, which was orthogonal machining. That means that if this is my tool surface, I'm going to approach it directly in at 90 degree. The tool surface and the cutting edge, the side cutting edge will be exactly 90 degree, and the side cut and the main cutting edge will be here. So we were assuming that we were having an orthogonal type of machining, but these are not true when we come to the original or the real life machining processes, which are turning, facing, milling, shaping, etc. So there can be multiple different ways. So the general one main difference will come in the parameters of machining. So the main difference in the parameters will be, one of that is the T1, that was the uncut chip thickness, and another is in the width of cut W. So now earlier these were equivalent to, T1 was equivalent to the feed rate, but now that will be equal to feed rate into cos of sub angle, that is angle phi. And the width of cut was initially equivalent to depth of cut, but now it will be equivalent to depth of cut divided by cos phi. So I can explain about these things in detail, but these are not required. The derivation is not required, but obviously come to derivation also. And this phi angle which I'm using is a side cutting edge angle, which I explained some time before. So that is side cutting edge angle. Okay, so the first operation we are going to look at is shaping operation and planning operation. So the shaping and planning is very much simple things. We have a workpiece surface, or it is being clamped on a surface or the machine, where the planning, or it can move, or it can move in XY directions. And then we have a tool coming from top, so it can move in the Z direction. And the other configuration could be, my workpiece is clamped completely. The table is not going to move, and my tool can move in XY directions, and it can also move in the Z direction for the depth of cut. So now this is the main difference that will come in the merchant's theory. So these are the only differences which will come. Now let's come to the more details of it. So all other things remain the same for the these operations. Also, the merchant theory are completely applicable. The force equation, the power equation, the merchant circle. So the theory would be, or the main part is that return stroke is unproductive. So if I'm going to make a stroke like this, that is the cutting stroke uh, for my machining, the return stroke is useless. Then I'm going to move my tool in one of the direction, or give some feed. Then I'm again going to have some machining done, cutting. Then I'll come back. I'll again make a feed. So that's how. So the return stroke is going to be unproductive. So it is designed such that the return stroke is faster. Now let's look at some question. So we need to estimate three components of shaping, three components of force during shaping of a MS, that is mild steel block, using following data. So almost all data related to machining is given. So depth of cut D is given, feed rate is given. Feed rate is given in per stroke, that is equivalent to double stroke also, because we know that the return stroke is going to be faster, and it is unproductive stroke. So we can mention per stroke or per double stroke. Per double stroke also includes the return stroke, which is unproductive. So even if it is given by double stroke also, feed rate is given in terms of double stroke, then also do not divide the number given by 2, because the return stroke is going to be useless. So the whatever the value is for double stroke, that is the same value for the stroke also. Now the rake angle is given, back rake surface angle, side cutting edge angle. So that's the new entry which we have with respect to the orthogonal machining. Then we have friction coefficient given. From friction coefficient, we can directly find the friction angle, lambda. Then we have shear strength, and we need to find the three components of force. So now let's start with it. So we have that merchant's theory, and we know the force, cutting force, that is in terms of shear strength, the area. So shear strength into area gives one part of the force, that is shear force. And I can convert the shear force to cutting force using the trigonometry. So earlier also I have explained about the Merchant's theory, in which we had a circle and we had different forces drawn on them and there were angles defined. So using that trigonometry and angles projection, we have come up with cutting force from there. Now, so as to estimate phi, we are not given with phi directly, so we can use Lee and Shepard's theory to estimate phi. We can use any theory, but generally in practice, in industries also, Lee and Shepard theory is taken more into account, and hence we'll use that only generally. So phi plus lambda minus alpha is 45 degrees. Lambda and alpha were directly given. So we get the value of phi. We get the value of cutting force Fc. Now we had to use W and T1. So W was not given, depth of cut was given, and T1 was also not given. Feed rate was given. But the beauty is over here we have W into T1, the factor. And if we are going to multiply W into T1, we'll have the things as D into F cos phi, cos psi, and cos I, numerator and denominator gets cancelled. So there is no effective change in my equation. I have directly replaced W with D, T1 with F, and the angle doesn't matter to me. So WT1 is equal to FD. So let's come to the circle. So this is the one of the triangle from that Merchant's circle. So from that circle, I have known the angles. I have known the FC value, cutting force. So I can find the thrust force. Now feed force will be thrust force cos phi. So this is a new entry for us. This is a new understanding for us. So earlier we had only one component of force, which was perpendicular to FC, but now we have three components of force. So let's come to that. So if I have a tool like that, and the tool, it's a cylindrical job, and my tool is over here. So I had two forces only, one over here and one in that direction. But now we have three forces. So this force which was in plane, that has come to an angle to that plane. So what will happen is we can take the projection of that force, this force in the horizontal plane. So these two projections are in the horizontal plane, and this was the main force which was acting. So this one force has been now taken componented into two parts. So one of them is the normal force, which is this force, and another is the feed force, which is this force. And this cutting force is as it is. So that is because when we are going like this is rotating, my tool is rotating, and I'm going to put my the workpiece is rotating, and I'm going to put the tool. And since it is going to rotate like this, the cutting force component on the tool will be in the downward direction. If I'm going to give it a depth of cut, my depth of cut will give me a radial outward force, that is the Fn, that is the Fn. And if I'm going to give it a feed, I'm going to move it along the spindle, that is I'm going to give some feed that will be in this direction along the axis. So I have explained the three parts or three components of force. And just by taking the projection using the sine cos phi value and sine phi value, I'm getting the values of the three components of force. Now in the next video, we'll start with the new operation, that is the turning operation. Thank you.